Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So I'm going to actually be talking now about Six Nations. Last year I watched the Six Nations. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't really talk about it. I was mainly focused on Super Rugby. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Six Nations this year. Please excuse it, guys. It's going to be my first year commenting on it. I'm still learning the players. I've set up a fantasy league that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, playing fantasy rugby. I find playing fantasy rugby helps me learn the players' names, how good they are, the positions, because it gives me another active interest in the game. So I've just set up one with, I'm just asking for permission that I can actually share the screen with you guys. I got permission from Rugby Pass, but it doesn't look like their fantasy league is ready yet. So I found another one that looks very, very similar, a lot more complicated. But I'm going to share it with you guys in the next couple of weeks once I've got permission, if I get permission. If not, then I'll just have to wait for the Rugby Pass if that happens. But yeah, so I'm looking at the Six Nations. I think the two teams to watch out for this year in the Six Nations would be Ireland and Wales. Yes, a lot of people would say England's also to watch out for, but I think the two top teams are going to be Ireland and Wales. I have a feeling, I'm going to put it out there, I still think Ireland are going to win the Six Nations. I was watching another YouTube blogger in the UK. I'll put down his details down below. And he was really talking about, do they really need to win? No, I don't think they need to win. I think they should be focused more on the Rugby World Cup and creating depth. The problem with the World Cup is it's about depth, and there's no better side in the world as New Zealand with depth. If you just take fly off, you take scrum off, you've got Aaron Smith, TJ Perrott, Tatura Tururangi. Then you've got fly half, you've got Bowden Barrett, Richie Mo'unga, Damien McKenzie that can step in. You're talking wings, Rico Ioane, Wasaki Nahola, Ben Smith, even Geordie Barrett can play on wing. We've got Neil Middle Scudder. You're talking centres, Ryan Cruddy. So these people, New Zealand have so much depth that they can lose a key player and still perform. Few places where it's a little bit of an issue is if they lost two locks, if they lost Brodie Retallick and Sam Whitelock. I know there's Scott Barrett that can step up, but who's the next? Actually, now I'm talking about New Zealand side. Sorry, guys, but I'm just trying to talk about the depth that they have, and that they can go to a World Cup with their 32-man squad, and they have the depth in every single position to be able to, and all those positions are generally world-class kind of positions. Whereas I look at Ireland and I take their tight head, probably got Tadhg Furlong, who out and out the best tight head in the world, but who's just after him, whereas I know in New Zealand the two tight heads are very, very close, the two loose heads are very, very close. You've got Cody Taylor and Dane Coles is just behind him. So I'm thinking that they should use the Six Nations to build that kind of depth. Give the guys 3-4 caps so that when they get to the World Cup they understand the structures, they understand the way that the systems work. So yeah, for Ireland it should be about building depth to be able to compete at that World Cup. But at the same time, people want victories, and so it's a bit of a balancing game that Joe Schmidt's going to have to do with Ireland. But for me, I still think Ireland are going to win. I have to say that Mark sent me an Irish rugby jersey at the end of November. I do live in South Africa, so things in customs take quite a while, and I might never receive the jerseys. This is just the nature of how customs work. But I'm hoping that I'll receive the jersey before the Six Nations. But even if I don't get it, I just want to say a shout out to Mark to say thank you very much for sending the jerseys. It's well much appreciated. He actually sent one for me and for Gordon, so that's just great. So if I don't receive it, thanks a lot, and if I do receive it, then I'll be wearing it for the thing. The next one is Wales. Wales, I think, as a South African, it seems like we always be losing to Wales. I think we've lost the last 4 games against them. So for me, those are the two sides. Wales should be going for the win. Also, maybe trying to find some other players, because a lot of these sides, they have you have your first string side and they're really, really good, but it's the depth after that. It's like I look at Australia, exactly the same. They have their starting 15 should beat anyone in the world, but that's a checker issue, but it's about the depth. When I look at England, England have to go for the win. It's a given. They have to win the Six Nations. Winning is a habit, and they need to win. They just lost against New Zealand, but that was a New Zealand that side that was off on the day. They just beat South Africa. They have to win. They just have to win the Six Nations. They don't have to go for the Grand Slam or anything, but they have to win. Scotland's a side I don't really follow that much. I should, because my grandfather was Scottish, so I should have a little bit more loyalty to them. But it's not a team that I watch very often. You have to understand, we've only just recently got into Northern Hemisphere rugby, and Northern Hemisphere rugby wasn't really shown on local TV. Yes, we'd get the Six Nation games, but that's not enough. You need to watch the Gallagher Premiership, you need to watch the top 14, you need to watch the Pro 14 to understand the players and the depth behind those players. So for the Scottish side, I apologise. I'm hoping that their goal should be at least to come second in the Six Nations. I don't think they're going to win it because Wales and Ireland are just too strong. I can guarantee that Italy will come last. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. I can guarantee that that's going to happen. And then France are probably the most one of the most disappointing Tier 1 nations at the moment. I haven't the foggiest clue what's going on. Either their top 14 is the top 14 clubs are just too strong and they're just not releasing players, or they're not using that many French players in the top 14, and they're using mostly international players. So yeah, there's a lot happening in France, but at the end of the day, it is still the Six Nations, and they did beat England last year. But I'd say that France, they should be going for at least trying for third place, third place, and that it would be an improvement for them. Did they get third place last year or fourth place? Fourth place. So yeah, that's my predictions for the Six Nations. What I'll do is, closer to the time, I will do the team sheets and things like that, and my actual score predictions for that weekend. But this is just a quick intro for the Six Nations. Please, guys, put down below who you think is gonna win the Six Nations. If I'm talking rubbish, tell me I'm talking rubbish. I'm really here to learn what's happening in Northern Hemisphere and what's happening in international rugby up north. But listen, guys, I hope you have a great week. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.